Today I have a very interesting piece of Soviet respirator equipment. This is the IP-4m, and it's one of my favorite masks so far, just simply to do how it looks and just the overall aspects of it. And definitely not because it's my newest mask, but let's get on with the review. So basically this mask would be performed in low oxygen scenarios, not underwater per se, but I mean, if you must, I guess you could, but I wouldn't recommend it. Then you get the IP5 for that. But yeah, so the main difference between the IP4 and the IP4m is, well, everything basically. The IP4m came in black and gray, has a speech diaphragm that sucks, triangular lenses, which is a very Western thing, so I'm glad they adopted that, and an oral nasal cup and some comfy straps. These straps are similar, but not similar to GP7, similar in terms of like quality wise, but do not rip your hair out, and they're relatively smooth, so they're very patterned. There's not much compared to the GP7 strap, which is waffle textured, which I'm not really a fan of, but that's besides the point. The rubber is very similar to these two. This one's a little bit more wonky, less stern. As you can see, this mask is collapsing on itself, while this one is relatively holding its shape. But, you know, that's besides the point. As long as it does its job, it does its job. My current example is a size 2 made in 1990 of the third quarter. I do not know what that backward R stands for, but if you know, feel free to tell me in the comments. This mask, I am a size 3 for other Soviet masks in general, and this is a size 2. If you are a size 2 GP7, you will fit into this. It is very similar with the inner kind of, here, let's see if I can do this, please help me, thank you. Okay, so it has this inner shield, inner hood thing, I don't know what you want to call it, like similar to GP7s, but it doesn't get in your way, and overall a lot better. Since I'm a size 3, this mask fits me perfect, so if I ever do get a bigger head or do gain fat under my chin, it will compromise the seal of this mask and make it extremely uncomfortable. But that's just one thing to note. Inside you have the springs, I don't know if you can see that right there, to retain lens inserts, which my current example did not come with, but I can imagine it's the same lens inserts that come with the PMK, which I do not have, but the lenses look very similar, so that I'm just going out on a lunch and I don't know what the word is. I'm going out on a guess and saying that they share similar things, since the Soviets, I suppose, recycled old components. The straps are slightly thinner than the GP7s. They're slightly more, the GP7's like rugged, like this is like not as elastic, the GP7s. This one's more elastic, which is one thing to note, so don't like yank on this with all your strength, because it will snap, and that'll suck if it snaps, because these are relatively uncommon to rare masks. You see them, but like no one really has them. It's that kind of ordeal, so yeah, that's that. I do own the RP4 regenerative canister. This example that I purchased did not come with it, but not GP7. It did not come with it, but I had to order this separately off a different user. Most sellers don't really sell this, I think, because this is really heavy, and I don't know, like in the video it doesn't look that massive, but this is like massive. And overall, it's just like the sellers don't want like anyone like killing themselves or suffocating to death if they don't know how to use it. So that's one reason why they don't really sell them. And just overall, they're rare. So I got these from 2 different sellers. Funny enough, I got this before the IP4. So kind of one thing just kind of connected to the other, and I just linked up. I do own the original packaging for this canister. It is in remarkable condition, made in 1988. I do know what these other numbers mean. I have a PDF somewhere telling me, but I do not know off the top of my head. But you would have this plug and this plug, so no one really explains, but this one would go into the hose, into this end, and then this one would go into the rebreather bag. So, you know, the setup, I'll show you later, but you get the point. So this isn't a 40mm adapting thing, so you would have to take your bayonet and kind of put it in and tighten it, but of course not on this side, the other. So that's one interesting to note. Oh, I also forgot to mention that inside this hose is a spring. So this is a very stiff hose. Like, I want to squeeze it, but I don't, and it doesn't really bend that easily. But I guess that's to retain its, I don't know, structure. I don't know what they call it. Some miscellaneous numbers over here. Don't know what they mean. Irrelevant to me, but that's besides the point. So that's all about the canister. Mine has not been activated yet, and interestingly enough, I do not have the tape that changes color on top, which is a meh. I don't really care for it, but that's that. Personally, I would not store this canister within the carrier due to the one fact that it is very sharp in here. As you can see, these things will scratch your paint and potentially dent the canister, as well as you have this pressure on it of the clamp. So I would just avoid keeping the canister in there. I'm very, scared that this thing would be dented. That's why I'm handling this with much care. And if it would be dented, I would be very upset. So let's put that there and move on to what I received inside this bundle of fun over here. Alright, so to the guts of the bag, you do receive a counterlung, a frame, and a satchel. Kind of neat, tidy setup you got going on. It comes with 4 Liptodots, which is a pretty cool factor of it. But, it's whatever. It's pretty tight. They snap in very nicely. This cork, I presume, goes into the bladder bag because so you just kind of keep nasties out of it. And so overall, like, you don't inhale dust. It wouldn't make sense to put it inside the end of the hose of the mask because then dust can accumulate through the other side. So I would just keep it in here for storage. On top of it, we have IP-4m and the date 1990, which is interesting. I don't know what the others mean. Inside this, I don't want to unfold it. Well, I guess I might as well. You have the clamp in here, and you would just put it in like that and flip it forward, and then the canister would lock in. Simple as that. My example did come with lens outserts, not inserts. The insert pocket is in here somewhere. Here are my lens outserts. I'm going to keep these snugly packed because I have no need for them. Going to the inside of the lid of my bag, I do have the date 1990 and the year, I don't know what 73 means. And just like, it's very hard to see. Just like some pencil writing right there, 66, 566. So that's that. On this side, you have a hole for the hose to exit out of. And that's one good thing to note about it is that unlike the IP-46, this one has its own hole. So with the IP-46, you would have to kind of do this with it, unbutton the last one, let the hose out. So that's a cool thing that they added. It's not on the other side, but so if you mess up while setting it up, then you have to kind of readjust everything. My bag is a size 2, so I presume when they were handing these out to give them to the soldiers, they would just see it and just give it to them. That's, I guess, kind of cool. The straps are the same thing. The waist and over the arm, or even chest straps are the exact same thing. You could wear it on the side, back, or chest configuration. Oops. And so yeah, you could do whatever floats your boat on this. That's what I like about it. It's very customizable. Sorry about the cutoff. Train just passed, and I don't want to, for you guys to hear that. So we have that going on with it. Now, the texture of this bag is very interesting. When I first received it, I thought it would be kind of like the PRVU bag, which it is nothing like, to my surprise. I do not own a PRVU, but my SHMS came with a PRVU bag, interestingly enough. So this bag is more plasticky, I'd say. This one's like more stiff and rubber. I don't know. They're both, I presume, against splash, like chemical splashes, but just interesting to note. This is darker, this is lighter. I forgot to mention that there are 2 heat pads within my satchel, so prevent the user from burning himself. Inside the satchel did come with a manual. No one on YouTube really shows these manuals, so I might as well. I mean, people show them, but like not really in depth with them, so I might as well, because why not? Ooh, the sun's coming out. Okay, so this manual basically says on the front, gas mask insulating IP-4m. Google Translate didn't do a good job with this, so I don't know what that means. Doesn't matter to me. Same thing. This is just to like protect the inner, I suppose. It's the same kind of deal. 1990, same year my mask was made, and same thing with everything else. This is the components of the kit. You have the face piece, the regenerative canister, two of these. I guess these are the outserts. One. Like this is the quantity. I don't know what that is, but you can translate this later. See if I can give you a good shot of it. And okay, so mine is a number 34. It says it on the side here, number 34. So it's the same number. This means party in Russian, so I guess that means lot number 995, which is present throughout the kit. So this is the person who inspected it, that's the inspection stamp, and this is the person who received it. So my guess is it was handed out, but never used, because this mask is in pretty good condition. Let's see. We have more miscellaneous stuff here, you know, some random nonsense that, you know, it doesn't really mean anything to me. Kind of cool. This page, and then this one's upside down, weirdly enough. If you want to, I'm trying to give you guys good shots to screenshot it if you want and translate it. And then I think we have one more page. Come on. Here we go. I don't know what that means, but you kind of get the idea of it, and then that's it. So it's kind of cool that this mask comes with documentation, unlike other gas masks out there of the Soviet Union. You know, I have a decent amount of Soviet masks, and none of them came with documents. I know that the GP5 and GP7 have like manuals, but they're not really common. So it's kind of cool that this kit included it. What else? Okay, one thing I do not like about this mask is storing it. You have to cram it within the bottom of this compartment, which will just ruin the integrity of the whole entire face piece, which I'm not a fan of, so I personally wouldn't. I would want this face piece to come with this, because just to keep its form. I don't know why. This is a more expensive setup, I guess, to build. So it would only make sense if they would include this within, but they didn't, so I guess you can cram it in easier. That's my one complaint about this thing, is it's not really easy to store or do really anything. So I guess I'll show you a example of it being worn, and then since YouTube only limits me to 15 minutes, on my channel there'll be other videos of me just walking around with this like someone else. So yeah, so I guess I'll show you the example of me wearing this now, since there's really not much else to do. So I'll see you in a bit. Okay, so now I'm wearing the IP-4m in the chest configuration. You know, it's pretty nice. My arms are free. I much prefer this over the back and the side, because with the back, your hose is restricted with your head movement, and on the side, it's so massive that your arms are always kind of like this. So personally, this is the best way you can do it. I can have a backpack and everything. As you can see, the voice diaphragm sucks. It is not fogging up that much due to the oral nasal cut, but since it's like 80 degrees out, 85 degrees out, I can assume over time it'll start to fog up. But overall, it's a very comfortable setup, and I do enjoy it. This is not an accurate suit. This is the only gray suit I have, so I guess you could pretend it's like a gray OZK or LO1 suit. I do know that these were, I guess, used with the KR1 chemical suit, which I've seen some people say that it does, but overall very good piece, and I guess I'll show you an overview of it. Overall, very nice suit. On my channel, there will be other videos of me just walking around with it in different configurations. And yeah, so I guess I'll wrap it up from here, and I'll close off the video. So my overall opinions on this mask is, it does its job. I mean, it could still work. And overall, I do recommend it for those who want some spice in their collection, some thick spice. I do recommend it if you want some cool aspects, something odd, something unique, something with new story to it, some new flavor. So I definitely recommend it. One of the better Soviet masks, in my opinion, one of the more respected ones. But overall, I definitely give it a thumbs up, and check out my channel for other videos. And yeah, I guess I'll see you later.